Start recording. Stop recording button.
Hi guys! So I figured I would do another talk/story time video. There may be some days where I would do 2 in 1 week, but usually I would just do one, but we'll see. I mean, I could try to do two, because I don't really have a lot going on. I have a lot of time on my hands, and I will try to do two, but I will at least do one. I will commit to one. So definitely be expecting one, and if there's two, then that's great. So anyway, as you guys can tell by the title, I had an incident where I didn't really go to the principal's office, and you're probably thinking, well, what happened? What are you talking about? You didn't go to the principal's office. That's great you didn't go to the principal's office, but no. What happened was I was sent to the principal's office and I was sneaky about it, and I didn't go. And I figured I would tell you guys that story. So, I was in the 8th grade when this happened, and starting in middle school,
Facebook notification. Facebook. Kristen Hart shared Jersey Girls' post.
that was when you started, when you would switch classes every period, you would change classes. Whereas in elementary school, you just sit in a classroom all day, and maybe you change classes like once or twice. In our elementary school, they called it specials, and that was when you went to art, music, gym, and you had one every day. So anyway, starting in middle school, I had an in-class support teacher, which meant there was a regular teacher, the main teacher, and an inclusion teacher. So they would be a special ed teacher, and they were in the classroom with the main teacher, and they were there just for in case, like any, because there were some kids that had learning disabilities, some kids that were slower than others. So they were basically there just to help those students, or maybe if the main teacher was teaching, they could walk over and help you if you needed it. So they were basically there for like the kids who had learning disabilities or kids who were slow. And I don't know why they put me in classes with those teachers. I guess it was good because they did help me when I needed it. Like if there was something on the blackboard that I needed read to me, or anything like that, or sometimes the main teacher was teaching something, sometimes the inclusion teacher would have to sit with me and help me. So yeah, and sometimes like for tests, some kids with learning disability are a little bit slower at taking tests, so she would take them out of the room, and they would take the test with the teacher, with the inclusion teacher. She would read the test. I had that for a little while, but my mother put a stop to it, which that's another story. But, yeah, I was actually doing that when I first started middle school. The teacher would take the kids out, and basically in a nutshell what happened was the teacher would take the kids out of the room, the special ed teacher, and she would say, oh, well, you have to come with me, just because, we want to save seats, so we don't have people sitting on top of each other so people could breathe, whatever. It turns out she was lying, because I guess she figured, oh, I need to leave also. And I told my mother, I was like, oh, this is the teacher, she's taking the kids out of the room, she's reading the test aloud, and I can't work at my own pace. I don't need that. Okay, I can sit in the classroom and take the test with the main teacher. If I have a question, I could raise my hand. She could come over and help me. And my mother, she agreed. She's like, no, you don't need that. And she called, I don't remember who she called, but she called the principal. She called the school. I know she definitely called the school. She called the principal, and she put a stop to it. And she said, look, she doesn't need to have the teacher taking her out of the room to take the test. The teacher reads the test aloud, and no, she doesn't need that. No, she'll be fine. And the principal, I guess, talked to her, and the teacher, one day we had a test, the teacher said, the other teacher, she said, I'm not taking her out. So, yeah. So yeah, that stopped right away. And then I had some teachers that would give you an option. They'd be like, okay, if you're coming with me, come to the door. But the one teacher that I had, she wanted me to go with her. It was like mandatory. So yeah, I'm really glad that my mother put a stop to it. So anyway, I know that's going off topic to my story, but I wanted you guys to understand when I would say in-class support teacher, what I meant by that. So, I was in the 8th grade. I was in social studies class, and I had 2 teachers, and the main teacher, she was teaching. We were doing notes. Typically, in social studies classes that I took in middle school and high school, we took notes. I don't know what it was, but all those classes we took notes. But anyway, yeah. So we were taking notes, and the main teacher was teaching. She was talking. The in-class support teacher, she was sitting in the back of the room. She was I don't remember if she was taking notes, but a kid sneezed, and it sounded different. And I started giggling to myself for a few minutes. I was laughing, and the inclusion teacher, she heard it, and she walked up to me, and she said, "Go to the principal." And I was like, I would always do this whenever I was asked to leave the classroom. I was like debating. I'd be like, no, I'll be good. I can stay. I can be good. I'll stop laughing. Let me stay. I'll be good. And I guess a lot of the times teachers would be like, oh, she's blind. I'll give her a second chance. So they would be like, okay, no, you need to be good. Otherwise you're going to have to leave. And then the rest of the class, you wouldn't hear a peep out of me. So I was sitting in class laughing because the kid sneezed, and the teacher went up to me and told me to go to the principal. And I did the same thing. I was like, no, I can be good. And I was like whispering to her because I didn't want the rest of the class to get distracted and the main teacher to get involved. And so she's like, the teacher, she's, no, it's too late. Go to the principal. And I was like, no, I'll be good. I'll be fine. I'll stop laughing. I'll behave. And at this point, the main teacher, she stopped teaching. And she stood there. She got really quiet for like maybe 10 seconds. I guess it was her way of saying, okay, the other teacher's dealing with this, and she was trying to see what was going on. So she stopped teaching for like 10 seconds, and I thought she was going to say something, but she didn't. She just got really quiet, and then she just went back to teaching. So this teacher, she wasn't giving in. She wasn't giving me a second chance. So yeah, I had to leave. So, and this happened a lot when I was like get sent out of the classroom for laughing. I would have to leave. So I got up, and the teacher, this is the inclusion teacher. The main teacher is still teaching. So she gets up with me. She's like, all right, I'll go with you part of the way. So she went with me halfway, and she said, you know which way to go to the office. And I was like, yeah. So yeah, and she was a bitch. So when I said yes, I knew which way to go. She went back to the classroom. So this is the point where I didn't go to the principal. I don't remember which way, like if you had to turn the same way to get to the bathroom or to get to the office, I forget. But I turned like the opposite direction to go to the bathroom. And the other teacher, she went back to class. So at this point, she didn't see me. She didn't know where I was going, anything like that. So yeah, so she didn't know. So at this point, I was by myself. So I was free to go to the office or go to the bathroom. So I went to the bathroom. But I didn't just come
Facebook
right back.
Facebook, Alien has accepted your friend request. Right on Island's timeline.
Now the thing is, I was this point now. Yeah, I didn't go to the bathroom because if I went to the bathroom and came right back, it would have been obvious that I didn't go. So I asked the teacher, I said, well, before I left, I said, can I come back? Because a lot of teachers, when they send you out, they don't want you to come back. So, so she said, yes. After you talk to the principal, you can come back. So I was like, okay, that's fine. So, knowing that I was able to come back, I went to the bathroom, and I did not leave the bathroom right away. I just sat there. I sat in the stall for 20 minutes because that's probably how long I would have been in the principal by the time, if I had to wait to see him, if we were talking for a little bit. So I sat in the bathroom for 20 minutes thinking about something to say, because I was rehearsing something, because I knew that obviously the teacher was going to ask me what happened, what he said. So I just sat there. I was rehearsing something that I would say to her, something that a principal would typically say, because I have been sent to the principal. I know what principals typically say when you're bad, or have an idea. So I kind of just like rehearsed something in my head that I would say to her. So after about 20 minutes, I went back to class, and the inclusion teacher, she went up to me, and it was nearing the end of the period, so she said, did you talk to the principal? And I said, yes. And she said, well, what did he say? And I said, well, we talked about how I was laughing, and he said that I can't be acting out in class because it's disruptive to everyone else, because I'm keeping the other students from learning, because they can't learn if somebody's sitting there laughing to themselves. And he said if it happened again, I would have detention. And she's like, okay, because what else is she gonna say, So I was like about to leave, and she said, so hopefully on Monday, because it was a Friday when this happened, so she said, hopefully on Monday you can contain yourself. And I was like, yeah. Oh, and I was able to, that's fine, but the thing is, I got away with that. I don't know, I didn't think I'd get away with that, because a lot of the times teachers will call the office to let them know you're coming, because, you're supposed to, because what if you're cutting, so that way the office, so they know you're coming, so they know to be, looking out for you, or to know, they would tell the teacher that I didn't come, or that the student didn't come. So they usually would call the office, and they would say, oh, just to let you know, I'm sending such and such to the office. And this teacher, she didn't call the office. Or maybe she called after I left, but either way, if she called or not, I got away with it, which is, I guess it's crazy, because that's usually not something that you would get away with. I don't know. It's just, I was expecting, some point, the teacher would be like, I found out you didn't really go to the principal, and things would have been a lot worse. Because I didn't want to go to the principal, because I was I didn't know what he would say, because the principal, he was cool, but he got strict when he needed to. So, that's pretty crazy that I got away with that. And a lot of people say, well, and you say you weren't a normal kid, because I'm sure other kids have done stuff like that. If any of you guys have done anything like that, or sneaky about something, I would like to hear, leave a comment down below. Tell me your story. Did you get sent to the principal's office and go somewhere else? Were you sneaky about something else? Do you have a similar story to tell? If you guys have any stories like this, where you were sneaky about something, leave it down below. I would love to hear your stories, or maybe if you guys have an iPhone, or a webcam, or a flip cam, or a digital camera, or whatever, or an iPad, a tablet, a Galaxy, whatever. Maybe you can do a video on your channel, and you can send me the link. If it's easier to do it that way, you could do that. You could leave me your links down below to your video if you want. So yeah, if you like this video, give it a thumbs up. If you liked it, be sure to comment, like, subscribe, follow me on Twitter. Let's see. On Twitter, I am the _AppleGirl22, or you can put in the same name without the underscore, because I have 2 accounts, and I explained that in another video why that is. And basically, in a nutshell, because my Twitter account was suspended because I was like retweeting a lot. And I just recently reactivated my other Twitter. So yeah, that was what happened, and I am going to go for right now. I'm going to go, and like I said, comment, like, subscribe, hit the subscribe button down below. Leave a comment. Tell me your story, either in a comment down below or do a video and link it down below. I would love to hear your stories. That would be awesome, and then we could share one another's stories. And if it's okay with you, if you do a video, I can share it to Twitter or Facebook or whatever, and we'll see which story was better or worse. So yeah, we'll share stories, we'll compare them and all that. So I'm gonna go, and I will see you guys in my next video. Alright, bye guys.